All right. We back. We back. We back. I had to go refuel. If y'all seen my last video, you know your boy was a little tired. You know your boy was a little tired. Sitting here yawning. So I had to go give me some little snacks. Give me something to drink. Had to go take a pee. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna go ahead and finish off this academics video. Then after this, we're gonna go ahead and get into the Andrew Tate situation. You know, the top G has a lot of as the self-proclaimed top G. You know what I mean? And just some of those people, you know, that kind of follow my. Like I said in the previous video, man, I kind of felt like a lot of his content was just for clickbait. You know, pinning men against women, vice versa. You know, I feel like that's low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? You can say some stuff that's going to go viral. You can trigger, you know, people's opinion. I mean, you're going to trigger people's emotions and stuff like that. Whenever you do pin men against women and vice versa. But we'll get into that once we watch that video. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Also, fair use disclaimer. This is for educational purposes. To educate myself and the masses. We're gonna go ahead and finish off this academics video. Let's get it.
Gunna was one of the first pleas and be like, okay, well, I told you my statements ain't gonna be used. Bro, we don't care what the statement that Gunna put out. We care about what's in the plea agreement. And the plea agreement says you have to testify unless you plead the fifth, and you can't plead the fifth about some shit you already admitted. You say you know niggas who did crime. You said it's a gang. You said it's this. You said it's that. I don't think he has an answer for that. I honestly believe, truthfully, that they're Steve Sado, great attorney, but I think they're trying to use the ignorance of the public to get this plea off. And normally I won't be tight, but if you say you're down to debate, get on the show. Anyway, chat, y'all gotta watch this whole thing. And by the way, the dude who did plead guilty, this guy, first of all, and salute. By the way, look, this nigga can't stop smiling, man. I don't know what he got going on in jail, but he can't stop smiling, man. Now, this guy right here, his name is Tick. And by the way, to keep it real, if you had gray hair in your dreads, my nigga, and you're in court, you're not trying to wait another couple of years. So,
you over 30.
Come on, man.
That nigga 23.
If you over 30 and ain't got no braids, then you dying your shit. And I can't even really see mine that well, but I got grades. I got grades in my beard. Feel me? I don't know what academics talking about.
He trying to come home.
That nigga
That's
23.
life.
Let that nigga go free, man. Yo, I'm telling you, I sat and watched the fucking story of. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna eventually. This. Oh yeah, I watched this.
Yes, of course.
Was this nigga basically? He talked about interviewing. He locked up the Antonio guy. This is a prosecutor, and he basically talked about how he gathered all the information, and basically he admitted when they locked in on Thug as a suspect, and they said it was after the death of Nut. They said if anybody was investigating Thug before, we didn't know. But they basically say Thug being associated with that killing put a target on his back, and they knew they had to solve that case. And they talked about that case every so often for years.
Not everywhere, man. Shit crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, yo, Thug kind of caused this on himself, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, dog.
True. He could have just been rapping. That's what I thought he was doing.
Hey, chat.
Hey, why you say he caused it on himself, eh?
Well, you cause it on yourself.
Can't be one foot in and one foot out.
Okay, the murder happens, right? They lock up incorrect people for it, right? Everybody's coming in like, people like to think that, oh, it's streets talking or whatever, like the cops don't know. The cops did know. They realized people were talking about this gang feud. They see 30 shootings back to back every single time. They're trying to figure out who got to deal with. Then they're realizing most of the people doing the shootings, they're using the same guns. They realize, oh, we're in a gang war. How do we stop it? Well, if you're going to cut the head off the snake, you got to find the head of the snake. They find that Young Thug basically rented the car. Young Thug basically sanctioned these dudes. Some of these dudes already snitching on each other. They realize Thug is the main component of why this guy died. They say if Young Thug didn't have a disagreement with Nut, he would have not been dead. So Young Thug, allegedly, and I don't know if he did this, but if he called the shots for this guy to get killed, Young Thug sold himself down the river.
Nigga said, niggas not every day, he'll be alright.
He got on live and said, if I didn't like what you did for your family.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Oh,
Yo,
y'all going on Young Boy podcast? Cool.
Yo, if y'all ask me, I can't see Thug taking this to trial, bro.
What? He has no choice. They're not
Boy,
gonna.
he taking that shit to trial.
Nah.
He don't have a choice.
Nah. If
He
you
don't have
ask
a
me,
choice, bro.
if you ask
They didn't
me,
offer him anything.
I think they probably did. I just don't think it's favorable. It's not gonna be time serving. I think it's probably gonna be 25 years.
So what's the point? You might as well go all in, nigga.
Take this like 18.
Yo, if you take it to trial, they're gonna bury you and they're gonna give you 50, nigga.
I mean,
So-
what's the difference when you already 30? Nigga, 25 and 50 is damn near the same thing. You in that motherfucker.
You take a plea, you only got served like 60%.
It is state too, yeah. So, still 10 years.
See, I'm not too familiar with
I don't know.
With all that,
60% of like
how much time
20.
he'll get taken to plea, how much time he'll have to serve. If that's what he ends up doing. I would like to get more information on this, in that stuff. Hopefully we can go ahead and get some videos with some lawyers talking about the pleas and how all that shit worked. But for now, it is what it is. Like I said, y'all go ahead and share y'all thoughts on, what y'all think it may be. I do believe in most situations, this case is a little different, because, like they were saying, this is a state RICO. And usually, I guess, RICO cases in the past aren't usually state. I'm not too familiar with that as well. But that's what we're here for. We're going to try to educate ourselves on this type of stuff. I would love to go back and forth with people, and we break down some of the. I don't want to say break down, because in breaking down some stuff, I feel like you have to know what you're talking about. And like I said earlier in the last video, I'm not too familiar with how the law works and how court works and shit like that. So that's what I'm here for, to educate myself, and hopefully y'all can also help me in that process.
Either 25. All right, let's just say it's 10 years.
It's about like 15. Well, it's about like 12 or like 10, yeah.
All I'm just saying, my man Charleston White saying he's trying to organize the Ninja Turtles of snitching, and he said his name is Rat Williams, and he
Shout
got
out
a
to
compadre
Charleston.
that's now
Probably
named
watch a couple of his videos
Gunatello.
too.
That's
We
fire.
talked about a lot of this shit, niggas telling and stuff.
Yo,
like
I think
that.
the best collab would be Gunna, 6ix9ine, and
Nigga
Charleston.
said Gunatello. That's hilarious.
Donatello, that is hard.
Gunatello.
It's
Tello.
not bad, but it's still hard.
You got Rat Williams, Gunatello. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ninja Turtles?
Somebody said, do not free Thug. Why y'all want Thug to be free?
Bro, Thug made Barter 6, bro. That nigga has
I'm
to
gonna be
free,
honest,
bro.
like, this is what we don't like come to terms with. Why couldn't have Thug just like elevated or ignored this beef with this nigga, man?
That's what I was saying earlier.
I mean, granted, like the answers are there.
Fellas, we got to get better. We have to start making better decisions when it comes to these kind of situations. We already know everything is put against us. We at the short end of the stick in every situation. They're going to put us together. Throughout our whole lives, they've been putting us against each other. You know what I mean? Sports, entertainment. It's all been competitive. You know what I mean? Black man versus black man. And we just gotta get a little smarter when it comes to these situations. And even regarding the Tory Lanez situation, we gotta avoid these kind of things, man. Getting too drunk when you shouldn't be, being somewhere around people where you shouldn't be. Like me personally, I don't want to be around a woman I'm fucking and another woman I'm fucking in the same room and they don't know. Like, to me, that's not to say that I haven't been in a situation like that, because I have, as a young man. But that's what I mean. This is young man mistakes. You know what I mean? We make these mistakes when we teenagers and young adults. You know what I mean? As grown men, we got to do better, man. And Tory Lanez, man, he's grown. He's also, was able to put himself in a situation to where, I don't want to say he's well off financially, but he's more well off than a lot of other people. You know what I mean? And we gotta wisen up, man. We can't be clout chasing every motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? I think Joe Budden said it the best. He said, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, his exact words or anything, but I believe he said something along the lines like, that whole Meg Thee Stallion thing is just a clout chasing situation. Everybody chasing clout that's involved. Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion, you know what I mean? She is the new hot woman rapper, you know what I mean, on the scenes. He, riding her. I don't want to say riding because Tory been around making music, making great music, but he's tugging on that coattail, you know what I mean, trying to ride that wave she was currently on when it comes to eyeballs, you know what I mean, when it comes to exposure and shit like that, and to be in a Jenner's house, you know what I mean, and in the pool with them and drinking, like, come on, man, we gotta wisen up, fellas. We have to wisen up. Same with Young Thug. Even if he rented the car in his name, knowing the crime was going to be committed in that car, he's dumb. He's dumb. I don't care what anybody say. He deserved everything that come to him if he did that, knowing what was going on. Now, if he didn't, you know what I mean, depending on the circumstances, that's understandable. People rent cars for other people all the time. You know what I mean? That shit happens. But if he did this with the intentions of knowing these guys was going to commit a crime,
like, well, he wanted to
be one foot in and one
be
foot
doing
out,
business
fellas.
with Rich Homie Quan, and this dude was like in there fucking it up, and he probably thought he had to do what he had to do, but
we gotta do better, fellas.
Did he?
Hey.
Nigga, he showed up to do an interview with me, nigga. He didn't want to talk about nothing. Nigga, he barely would even kind of address why that whole thing. He was just like, bruh, since all these niggas locked up, let me get my shit back going on.
Rich Homie played both sides. I mean, nigga.
I mean, and Thug already got a reputation.
I didn't know that.
What the fuck is that? Yo, he played both sides because he ain't have no motherfucking
Yeah, nigga, YSL.
Well, also, he didn't have no smoke with nobody. He wanted to work with Thug, but like, bruh, if Thug didn't violate the people, the gang niggas who was backing him, like, bruh, he wouldn't have no problem with Thug.
Rich Homie knew Nut too. Yeah, I mean, bro, but bro, his beef ain't Thug beef though. Like, what the fuck? These niggas making money together. I get it, but they not tied in. He ain't
Nah. I ain't gonna lie. Nut was managing. Rich Homie Quan. So I understand why he fell back. He could have never chose Thug's side.
Hey, man.
By the way, I think it's a relief on his shoulders that now niggas is starting to find the truth and people might understand him a little bit more. Because we used to just call him weird. Like, damn, why would you leave Thug? Damn, Thug left you in the bushes. Yo, shit, like, yo, damn, this goes to show that when you and Thug were teammates or like y'all was making music together, Thug was more talented. Now we get to realize, nah, that's not the case, bro. Like, that's not an accurate depiction of what the fuck
Are,
going
are
on.
you are you saying that it's a release for Rich Homie?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
He probably had pressure on
That's
both
crazy.
sides. He had pressure on both sides. People calling him soft, this and third, just because he didn't want to do some gang shit, my nigga. So yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Anyway, yo, listen, yo.
The shooters are identified as being.
Yo, I'm gonna get back into the whole case of YSL. This is like so interesting. You know, I've been going back just kind of compiling why everybody really took a plea, or not even took a plea, but got a plea, and then you kind of realize the genesis of this whole thing. Ridiculous to say the motherfucking least, man. Listen, yo, I got somewhere to be literally in a few hours. Chat. Boom, you want it? You gonna stay on it, or you getting off type shit?
I'm gonna go out for a bit. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'm up the street, so you gotta fly and shit.
Yeah. Chat, I gotta be in the streets real quick, man. But listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me so much. It's been a hell of a great 2022, and I hope to increase my workload in 2023. You know what I mean? I got some personal goals in terms of streaming. I want to stream more.
That's a lot. Talking about increasing his videos. Like I said in my last video, man. I respect Act for the content that he does put out. He puts out a lot of content. Most of it I don't agree with his takes. You know what I mean? But as far as the content, I'm here for it, man. I said it earlier. I feel we as black men should all create some kind of platform, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, TikTok, all that, you know what I mean, and share our thoughts and opinions on this shit because, and I mean just mean on this, but just period, things that we go through, because if we don't, then that allows other people to paint that narrative for you know what I mean, for us. You know, if we have a lot of people out here creating content, talking about news, talking about sports, and I take that back. Not just talking about news, but talking about news in a better light, talking about sports in a better light. We don't have to bash each other on everything. You know what I mean? We ain't got to say, oh, this person sucked because they lost this game or they missed a game winning shot, blah blah this and blah blah that. You know what I mean? All that bashing shit. We gotta stop that, man. But as far as us, creating content, we need more of it. We need more people discussing current events in regards of news. We need more people discussing political events. We need more people even going to over these cases because that gives us a better understanding of how the system and everything works. Instead of hearing it from people that don't look like us, because 9 out of 10 they is going to brush it over with that white paintbrush that they do everything with. You know what I mean? They ain't going to tell us everything. They're going to leave certain shit out. And I feel like if we have this dialogue back and forth with each other, it educates us. And like I said, it allows us to paint a different picture on black people in black culture, American blacks and American black culture that I feel hasn't been the best. So y'all get out there, man, and don't be afraid, man. You might not get to the point where academics is at. He's been doing this shit for a long time. He got over 400,000 subscribers on his channel. He already got over 150,000 views on this video. We may not be able to get to that level, But if you don't try, you never know. Even if you get half of that or a third of that, um, information is information. Somebody may be able to take some of that information that you have put out there, and they may be able to pull from it that can help them in the long run. You know.
That I ever streamed in 2023. Hopefully, I could help me, encourage me to do that. Hopefully, you can help me encourage me to do more videos, YouTube videos than I've done in a long while. And of course, a personal commitment of mine is getting a little bit healthier. Of course, doing more podcasts more than ever, and just see if we could organize our output and just be better humans, man. And I hope for everybody who watches me, you guys challenge yourself. You could get better at something in life, you know what I mean? Some of y'all dumb as fuck. Maybe you could get a little smarter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, real shit.
Some of y'all, I'm serious. You know what I mean? Some of y'all might gotta work out too.
Real shit. I ain't the best. I ain't the best speaker. You know what I mean? I'm not the best at explaining myself, but that's why I wanted to go ahead and create a page, because the only way to get better at these certain things is having those conversations. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with a lot of things academic says, but I mean what he just said right here, makes a lot of sense.
Hopefully, I could help me, encourage me to do that. Hopefully, you can help me encourage me to do more videos, YouTube videos than I've done in a long while.
Better videos too, academics. I'm gonna try to hold you accountable for that, man. Like I said, I feel a lot of shit you do, your takes on things, aren't the best. You know what I mean? You like even what he said about the dude smiling, like, oh, I'd rather, I want to hear his album and stuff like that. That's not the kind of shit we should be promoting. You know what I mean? Regardless, this still is a big case. A lot of lives may be ruined because of this case, and talking about music or hearing somebody music because they ain't taking no plea deal, that's bullshit. So you putting out content, like I said, I do respect it, but I feel we do need to hold each other accountable, and hold ourselves to a higher standard. So I'm gonna try to do that. He want to get healthier, he want to make more videos. I want to try to hold him accountable in making wiser decisions on the type of content he does put out, and his thoughts and opinions on some of the content.
And of course, a personal commitment of mine
probably
is
not the brightest,
getting a little bit healthier. Of course, doing more podcasts more than ever.
He does have a huge platform,
to see if we could organize our output.
His voice is big.
Be better humans, man. And I hope for everybody who watches
like
me,
he said, being better humans, man,
yourself.
that's big. That's big. That goes back into everything that I wanted to talk about in these videos. Andrew Tate situation, you know what I mean? Fresh and Fit, the type of content they put out, bashing women, or pinning men against women. Like we just got to learn how to be better, and learn to, not grab at that low hanging fruit all the time, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, it may be entertaining, but we got enough entertainment going on. We need to get a little more serious with the type of shit we do consume, and we need to get a little more serious with the type of shit we do put out.
You could get better at something in life, you know what I mean? Some of y'all dumb as fuck. Maybe you could get a little smarter, you know what I mean? Some of y'all,
I'm one of them. I'm one of them dumb as fuck niggas.
Gotta work out too.
Fuck
it. Let's work out.
I don't know a lot, but
some of y'all might be broke as hell. Maybe you want to make some more money.
I ain't scared
or
to
some of y'all might just, be just fucking assholes.
I ain't scared to share my thoughts. I ain't scared to stand on my opinion. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, hide behind they call them, what Drake call them, the Twitter fingers. You know what I mean? They want to hide behind these pages, and so I give a lot of respect to the people that do create content and do put their face in the content that is created, and stand on that shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of y'all niggas is lame, wanna hide behind the want to hide behind the keyboards, and you know what I mean, talk shit, and, but yet all you doing is commenting negatively. You know what I mean? Do something else with your life.
Maybe some of y'all
Do
ain't get
something
no
more
girls. Maybe you want to
positive
get
in
some
your
girls.
life.
Maybe whatever the case is, you want to
Get out
just
your mama house.
think
nigga.
about yourself as just like a business and try to improve. And even if you improve on everything, there's always certain stuff with it, like your health, which is you could never be in too great of a shape, right?
Quit drinking,
Listen,
that's what he
thank
talking
you
about.
guys. I love you guys.
That's what he talking about. He don't want to say it, but that's what he need to stop doing. He need to stop getting on these lives and shit and doing all the drinking he been doing. He was in the last video he was talking about Meg Thee Stallion with 6ix9ine. I believe it wouldn't allow me to post that video for some reason. But he was making fun of Meg Thee Stallion, talking about half a cup of Hennessy. You know what I mean? And she was acting out, blah blah this, blah blah that, like half a cup of straight Hennessy. If you not drunk off a half a cup of Hennessy, you might have a problem. Hennessy is strong. Hennessy fucks you up. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my go-to drinks. You know what I mean? And I don't drink a lot though. If I'm drinking Hennessy, 1 cup, and it's a mixed drink. You feel me? If I take a shot, maybe 1 or 2 shots. But I'm only on. If I'm doing shots, it's 1 or 2 shots and maybe a drink. You know what I mean? And not right then and there. I'm gonna space them shits out. I'm gonna take them shots. I may wait 20. I may wait 30, 40 to an hour before I even take a drink. You know what I mean? And in that process, I'm drinking water. So we also got to get better at, you know what I mean, knowing our limits and, taking accountability for a lot of shit.
Respect to all y'all, and I'm about to host Boom, right? Peace.
Yo, act before you go. You can end it, but before you go, the chat, we've been doing our thing. We fucking interviewed like 2 people. I don't know if you seen it yesterday and today actually. So we definitely doing our thing in the chat and the Discord. So
Everybody, please join the Discord. Yeah, please. I gotta join the Discord. The Roosevelt dude you mentioned to me, I seen somebody send me like a thing saying like he says.
I'm gonna go ahead and move on from this. Shout out to Academic himself. Shout out to all the content he does put out. A lot of my videos will be based off of his videos. Fair use disclaimer. Sorry, sir. I'm piggybacking though. You'll be alright. But after this, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some Andrew Tate shit. You feel me? This video is pretty much wrapped up, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find this lawyer discussing Andrew Tate situation. He's gonna hop right in. But before we do,
what?
Like always, fair use. This is for educational purposes. You feel me? Alright, so like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get back into but we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. Fair use disclaimer. YouTube, please. I'm gonna fast forward this because I don't like this nigga intro.
I'm Bruce Rivers, board certified criminal lawyer. And what does that mean that I'm board certified? That means I've got a ton of trial experience and that I know what I'm talking about. And when I talk about these cases, I'm talking about it from knowing and being in the courtroom and seeing winning cases and losing cases. I've tried to win more than I lose, but I have won a lot of cases and I've tried a lot of cases over the 25 years of experience. So that's what it means to be board certified, tried, true, and tested. But before we get into Mr. Tate, because Mr. Tate was in court yesterday, we are sponsored by eforms.com. That's eforms.com.
Fair use disclaimer, we is not sponsored by this.
And he's down there and doing all kinds of stuff.
I mean?
That's illegal.
YouTube don't take us down. Fair use. This is
what do? You go to eforms.com.
Purposes.
You get an eviction notice. You get the cops and the sheriff to get him the hell out of there. Because you don't want Andrew Tate in your basement, do you? Because guess what? Your grandma's down there and you don't want her having an OnlyFans page with Andrew Tate. So you get him out of there so your grandma's not subject to such treatment by Andrew Tate. You go to eforms.com. They've got the forms right there. Doesn't matter what state you're in. Go to eforms.com and they will take care of you. Okay, so this is an update on Mr. Andrew Tate. Mr. Tate was in court yesterday. He is being detained for at least another 30 days. His lawyer, Mr. Vladniak, really solid lawyer, by the way, He has said they're going to appeal. This is also the same guy that said he wasn't arrested. When you're like this and you're with the back of a fucking squad car, that means you're arrested. And he was arrested. And he's in custody. And now here's the thing. The laws in Romania are not like they are here. They're getting better. And in fact, there's a whole international coalition about sex trafficking and trying to get everybody on the same page. The guidelines here, the federal guidelines here on sex trafficking in the United States is absolutely through the roof. I think they start out at a 27 and they have all these enhancements, but they're just through the roof. You could be looking at 30.
All right, I had to go ahead and pause this video. A girl came back.
He is not looking at that much time in Romania. He is looking at 3 to 10 years in Romania. That's just on the sex trafficking charges, okay? There's 2 other charges. There's a rape charge,
All right, so
and there's also a criminal...
Andrew Tate situation, if y'all not aware, been arrested in Romania for supposed sex trafficking. It's a big charge. A lot of people that I've seen has been trying to downplay, you know what I mean? And it's weird to me because they be trying to blame it on, oh, it's the Illuminati and blah blah this and blah blah that, or Andrew Tate don't got a sex traffic because he rich, blah blah this and blah blah that. Like all these cases or all these situations and excuses like people was making for this man, it's kind of weird. Like if that was the case, I don't think police are going to, if they wanted to arrest him for whatever because he's a top G and he's empowering all of these men and whatever everybody that's on his dick want to admit to, they don't have to get him for sex trafficking. They don't have to arrest him for sex trafficking. They could just arrest him. You know what I mean? They could have arrested him on a bullshit traffic ticket or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they just wanted to get him just to get him, So I don't buy that shit, So he was arrested for sex trafficking in Romania, and just like this lawyer has explained, or is starting to explain, the laws in the United States and other countries are different when it comes to sex trafficking. The United States, when it comes to sex trafficking, is pretty strict. If I'm not mistaken, you can get a minimum of like 10 years or something like that. I haven't really looked too much into it, but we'll go ahead and do that. Like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Feel me? Also, fair use disclaimer. I'm going to keep saying that. Fair use disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes, to educate myself and the masses. You feel me? So before I go ahead and let this dude get into it, I just want to go over what is, I guess, considered sex trafficking. So I just use Google, you know what I mean? Laws on sex trafficking. Came across this place as what is the act of sex trafficking. So just kind of give you guys an idea of what sex trafficking is. Sex trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting of a person for the use of commercial sex act, which a commercial sex act is induced by force, fraud, or coercion. If I said that correctly. If I didn't, sorry, I'm working on it. You feel me? Or which a person has, or in which the person induced to perform such act has not attained 18 years of age. So sex trafficking isn't holding women in the cages. Sex trafficking is, like I said, recruitment, harboring, transportation, and those can be an array of things, you know what I mean? And some of these red pill guys, what's his name? Spookio, I don't know, popular YouTuber, Spokio, let me look. Let me make sure I got his name right. What's his name? Spokio. I don't know. Y'all know who I'm talking about though. Uh, he's a YouTuber. He has been on a few podcasts. He's been banned. He had his own YouTube channel, but he recently was on a video talking about this Andrew Tate situation and talking about how Andrew Tate don't have women in cages. He been to his house and all this other goofy shit. When sex trafficking doesn't you don't necessarily have to have women locked in cages to be considered a sex trafficker.
Organization charge. So they've arrested 4 people. Andrew Tate's going to be there for the next 30 days.
So
I don't
Andrew
think there's
Tate
any
and his
reason
brother
for
got arrested.
an
The dude
appeals
said
court
there's
to
been 4 people
overturn that.
arrested.
He's got
I know Andrew
Vladniak,
Tate
and that's the lawyer.
I
That
don't
remember
know
we
whether
did that little video about who he wants for a fucking lawyer?
I walked in there and said, listen, I've committed multiple felonies.
I would never want this guy for a client. Get the fuck out of my office. You want to know what the reality is, and you tell them the truth. You don't tell them what they want to hear. And he just wants to hear what he wants to hear.
Am I going to go to jail?
Well,
probably. Well, then
probably gonna
see.
be watching a lot of this guy videos, like I was saying earlier. I would like to, get lawyers' perspective on these type of things, just to gain more knowledge in how these court systems and everything work. So I'll be probably going over. We'll probably be on this dude page a lot, and discussing some of his videos and how he breaks down and his thoughts on a lot of these situations. And I think a lot of you guys should do the same.
Bye.
You want me to lie to you? Oh, no, I can win that case hands down. Hold on. I committed multiple felonies. Did ya? Are you going to be sitting in jail?
He just...
Yes.
Come on.
Boy! That's
He
what he
admitted
said.
to-
That's what he fucking
he
said.
admitted
But what does
to
that mean?
committing
For
multiple
he is in
felonies,
jail. I mean,
which
is he
is
looking for a
admitting
new
to
lawyer? Because his
crimes.
lawyer didn't win the bail argument, did he?
Bozo.
And let me tell you something about
I can't believe a lot of niggas really follow this guy too. Like, first couple of times I've seen him on the Fresh and Fit podcast, I was like, oh, this nigga goofy. Then I came across a video of him of, like, I don't know if he was like a young teen or a young adult, but he was just looking ultimate goofy. And no offense, I ain't trying to call people losers for lack of a better term and shit like that, but that's what he looked like. He looked like a loser. He probably got dissed by a lot of women. Probably got cheated on a bunch of times, which everybody experienced. But when you get cheated on and you don't have access to women, or your access to women has been very limited, it affects you a lot differently. And in that video I seen of him as a young adult or whatever it was, he was looking like a super loser.
that aspect of things. When you got a guy
He
like
looked like
Andrew,
one of them dudes that just, got into shape, just got some confidence, and now he wreaking havoc on women, and because they dissed him when he was younger type shit.
he's probably like a caged animal right now, just going absolutely batshit crazy. And he's probably he's blowing up his lawyer's phone like nobody's business. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another lawyer on this case in short order, because he's not going to stand for sitting in jail. He's thinking there's somebody. I'm bigger than anything that ever has been, so that nobody can. No, you're just like the rest of us. Put your pants on one leg at a time. So let's first.
He gonna snitch because to be involved in like this sex trafficking shit is pretty serious, man. Like I said, I kind of feel like he knew what he was doing, because the United States don't play about that type of shit. I mean, we probably some of the biggest sex traffickers, as far as a country. We all know Jeffrey Epstein, and in that situation, a lot of people on that list, people who have visited his office, from political people to sports and entertainment figures. But as far as the laws, the United States don't play with that type of shit. Romania is more relaxed and everything, and I believe he was also in London or some European country. Is where he started a lot of this shit, and if I'm not mistaken, this dude is gonna go into some of that. But he was, I don't want to say smart, because that sounds terrible. If he was sex trafficking, I don't want to say he's smart for doing that, but he was smart to go to Romania because their laws when it comes to that kind of stuff isn't as strict.
Let's take a look from his own words.
So I kind of
what
feel like
he
that's that
says
admission of guilt
as
either.
he started this business to create all this wealth for himself.
He's on the Fresh and Fit
He appeared on
podcast.
Fresh and
We're gonna
Fit.
be watching
Actually,
these
the guy
videos, too.
Myron, we
Goofy
bantered
niggas.
back and forth, and he's a former Homeland Security agent. These are his own words. Remember what I said before about your own words? Your own words, whether it's a song or whether it's this, an interview can bite you in the ass, and it can be used against you in a court of law. So let's see what he says.
Yeah. It wasn't nearly as big, and I found this little webcam thing, and I was like, this might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it was 5 of them, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me.
Listen to the tone, first of all. You're all coming here to live and work with me. But he didn't text, he didn't say you're all. He texted each one of them individually.
Bro, Tristan will tell you the story. He'll tell you. All 5 flew in, picked them all up. They're all sitting there. I sat around the same table. Listen, I need to get paid. Right? I'm broke now.
You're broke now? This is just at the beginning stages of
This
what
is when
he's
he,
doing.
I have no money.
How he
I'm
got
running out
to
of money.
his
So I put them all around the same
millions,
table.
supposedly.
And I was like, look, we're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you. And we're going to get rich. We're going to be a team. And they're all like, well, who's this bitch?
Now remember, he started out in London. And why did he go to Romania? Why did he go to Romania?
This bitch. I'm like, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girl. You're all my chicks. And you're going to stay here and we're going to make some money. Big fight kicks off, blah, 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 blah. 3 left, 2 stayed. Those are my first 2 girls. And we started this little webcam business from my apartment. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations.
75 women in 4 locations.
And I was doing $600,000 a month. This is in the UK, but this leads into the story of why I moved to Romania. So at the height of my webcam pimping, I think I'm the king of the world, right? I have all these women, da-da-da. But the problem is, my first 2 girls who worked for me because they loved me. I love this man.
Ladies, any of you ladies that love this man, no.
Me from the ghetto streets to the hotel suites. So we're working together, but then once you get bigger, you start hiring girls who don't love you. They're in it for the money. And then I had one girl, and she got too drunk one day, and she threw up in my apartment. I told her to clean up. She refused to clean up, start being an idiot. So I took her stuff, threw out the window. You never hit a girl, right? Can't do that. But if all the other girls see me be disrespected, they're going to lose respect for me.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
So when she's like, I ain't cleaning that up, you get that. So I was like, look, you're...
See, that's what I mean about niggas being goofy.
I don't care. And she was my biggest earning girl. She made me on her own maybe $25,000 a month.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't want to fire her. And she knew I didn't want to fire her, which is more reason why I had to fire her ass. So I was like, all right, cool. You want to be a gangster? Right, you're a gangster. Got her shit. We're like high up. We're like high up like here. It was just out the window. So throws out the window. Got her by her 2 arms and marched her out the door, locked the door. End of it. She starts texting me, you owe me my last month's wages. You owe me my money. Give me my money. Did I text her back? I ain't paying you nothing. You threw up my da-da-da-da-da. She went...
Trafficking. Took a girl to another country. You know, you're holding her funds or stopping her from access to her funds. You threw out her shit. I'm pretty sure you probably kept some of her shit.
Went to the police.
Oh, shit.
And told the police I hit her.
This is how it starts. This is how law enforcement involvement with him starts.
4 months later, 5 in the morning, 4 months later, I'm laying in bed. And I heard the door, boom, 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 boom. And I don't know how I knew, I just knew it was police. As soon as I heard that noise, I just paused for a second, I heard police. But I didn't know what it was for, right? But there's a few things I can't say in the podcast. I've lived a varied life.
Now, that is a form of self-snitching. That indicates that there's things out there that are illegal that he's done.
Right? I've done some things when I had to pay the bills.
Right.
So I was a bit like, what's this gonna be? So I flushed my phone down the toilet quickly.
So I destroy evidence. I flush my phone down the toilet.
I'm coming!
I'm pretty sure they will use this video in his court case as well.
Hiding
Like
shit.
he just
I'm
admitted
destroying
to
evidence. One of the
crimes.
problems that you have with a guy like this,
shit.
there's a treasure trove
This y'all top
of statements that he
This
makes
the nigga y'all.
that a prosecutor
This
can
nigga
use.
y'all watched and was like inspired by, which also make y'all goofy niggas. I'm gonna call y'all, you know, people call them bozos or clowns and all that shit. I'm gonna call you niggas doinks. From now on, I don't know if y'all watch wrestling, you know what I mean, but Doink was a clown in wrestling. That's what I'm calling niggas from now on. You niggas is doinks.
Impeach him with if he ever decides to testify. So that gives you a little bit of read on how he started his empire, for lack of a better word. He made his money on the backs of young women. He said 75 women in 4 locations. The other thing he told you is that he destroyed evidence. Not only that, he was concerned with how he would look in front of the other women in terms of control. Because I can't let her get over on me because then I won't have control over these other women. That's the theme you get from that interview. Okay, so we have basically the origin, the beginnings of his business dealings in this area. Now, let's see how he operates. By his own words. These are his own words.
Also, when you're real G's, that you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You gotta go to Poland, you gotta go to Warsaw, fucking Dubai, Miami. Anyone who watches State Confidential knows I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out.
So I got all these chicks, they're in love with me. They don't go out. They're not allowed out. So restricting somebody of their movement is part of force, fraud, or coercion. Because what happened?
Trafficking. Remember what I said earlier about what was considered trafficking. I'll go over it again. Harboring, recruitment.
What happens if they go out?
Takes away, so they go out with their friends. No. You don't go to the club with your friends. I don't know what kind of bitch-ass dude is letting his chicks go to the club with her friends without him. No. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere.
Harboring.
No restaurants.
So sorry, Spokio, whatever your name is, you don't have to have women locked up in cages. Clown. Excuse me. Doink. You don't have to have women locked up in cages. That is harboring. You're not allowing them to leave.
No clubs, nothing.
Do you get to eat? Do you get to take a shit? I mean, when you start controlling somebody like that, that is the crux of you come here on a promise of whatever, but when you get here, I control your every movement. That's coercion. That's absolute coercion.
I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved.
This is your man. This is your top G. In your previous video, let's go back to it. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
It was police. As soon as I heard that noise, I just paused for a second. I heard police. We went to the police on her own, maybe drunk one day, and she.
Ladies, any of you ladies that love this man, no.
Listen to what he's saying.
From the ghetto streets to the hotel suites. So we're working together. But then once you get bigger, you start hiring girls who don't love you. They're in it for the money. And then I had one girl, and she got too drunk one day, and she threw up in my apartment. I told her to clean up. She refused to clean up. Start being an idiot. So I took her stuff, threw out the window. You never hit a girl, right? Can't do that.
Never hit a girl. Never hit a girl. He just said on the Fresh and Fit podcast, you never hit a girl. Then we get here.
What do you want? Want a job that I don't hate.
These damn ads.
Want to do something
in the meantime,
that
like, subscribe, comment,
but I don't know
all
what that thing
shit.
is.
Tell a friend. Tell
like
a friend.
I want someone to tell me exactly what to do.
Disclaimer. Ads.
I want to stop feeling like if I take one more step, I'm just going to fall into a pit forever.
What do you... Right? Now he's making money off the backs of all these ladies, and they're brought to him because they're...
As we just seen, he said, don't hit a woman. Don't hit a woman. He said he threw her shit out, locked the door. She went to the police. Keep in mind, he brought this woman from one country to this country. So this isn't her home. She doesn't have access to funds. He's keeping her funds from her. He said that, I'll go back, but he said, he's basically keeping the funds from her. He threw her stuff out. He threw her out. So he brought this woman to another country to exploit herself on the internet, kept her funds from her, and don't know what to do anymore. Don't want to deal with her anymore. Why she's in a foreign country.
In love with him, and their movement is restricted. And according to him, they're beaten. That is slavery. That is sex slavery. That is exactly what sex trafficking statutes are designed to prevent. Come here on a promise of whatever, but when you get here, I control your every movement. That's coercion. That's absolute coercion.
I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass.
But on the Fresh and Fit podcast, he said you don't hit a woman. In this video, he's talking about, I don't even gotta fuck you. I'ma just beat you up. This is y'all mans. This is y'all top G. Come on, man. Drinks.
No sex. No sex involved. But you cry then.
Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me, trying to resist, and I just...
Juxtaposed to that, what he said on Fresh and Fit, it just doesn't jive. That is who he's got to be in order to control these women, in order to keep the money coming in.
This y'all top
Because
G.
he was broke before, right? Now he's making money off the backs of all these ladies.
Now he's making money off women, but bashing women. He got rich using women. But then he want to be like, oh, basically bitches ain't shit. Don't trust them. All this other shit.
And
on,
they're brought to him because they're in love with him, and their movement is restricted, and according to him, they're beaten. That is slavery. That is sex slavery. That is exactly what sex trafficking statutes are designed to prevent. So that video and a couple articles have been posted by
So he just admitted in these couple of videos that he watched of Andrew Tate himself that is literally what they consider sex trafficking. I'm going to go back to this already. I went over it. But sex trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation. So let's break it down. He said that he brought these women to this country for this. That's recruitment. Transportation, brought them to another country. They got to fly, boat, whatever. That's transportation. Harboring, he said these women cannot go out. They have to be in the house. Harboring.
2.0. We got to give her a shout out to her because it's a good synopsis of where we're at with Mr. Tate. There's an American woman who was lured to Romania because promising a love interest with Andrew Tate. And he lures her there through Facebook. And when she gets there, she realizes it's a total scam. Some of these women actually had tattoos on them saying, owned by Tate. I belong to Tate. Tattooed on their arms. Now, Mr.
Incriminating.
Tate is just at the very infant stages of this whole case. Because Romania is one of the countries that is part of this international compact on sex trafficking. And they're trying to increase their enforcement and get more in line with neighboring nations, the U.S. being one of them. Not a neighboring nation, but in this coalition. Mr. Tate is going to see that the Romanian authorities are going to cooperate with the U.S. Trafficking this young girl to Romania under false pretenses and then not allowing her to leave and then using her for sex acts online
transportation,
is sex trafficking,
right there.
And it violates U.S. law. Violating U.S. law makes him subject to prosecution in the United States. I don't have any information to suggest that he has been charged or that he's even under investigation with the United States, but I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. decides to prosecute Andrew Tate.
And I believe that these women are from the United States.
Now,
I think
Mr. Tate was born in Chicago. He is a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. He holds dual citizen in Great Britain and in the United States. Both he and his brother are. One of the issues that you're going to have in terms of detention for somebody that has multiple citizenship is whether they're a risk of flight or not. And now he's got means because he's got money. He's told you all about his Bugattis, his 33 vehicles and everything. Let's see what else he has to say about passports.
Same thing with passports, man.
If I fuck up and England wants me in jail, I can fly on a Nigerian passport, or an American, or an English, or a Polish, or an Estonian. I have so many passports. What, are you gonna block them all? They can't stop me traveling. There's always a passport I can pull out. There's always a driver's license I can pull out. If you ban one, I've got another.
And it's just telling us. I guarantee you all these videos are going to be used in his case. We use these ads.
He's on my fantasy
Like,
football
subscribe,
team.
comment, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Fair use disclaimer as well. This is for educational purposes.
I've got bank account.
He's got so much content that's out there that it's just flouts any kind of respect for law enforcement or respect for any notion that he's not a flight risk. All I gotta do is play that in front of a judge, if I'm a prosecutor, which I'm not. You know, it just if I'm the defense lawyer, how do you combat that? See, the thing is, if the girls get there and they realize it's not Shangri-La and that they're being mistreated.
It goes into what I was saying earlier, man. Fellas, we have to do better. We have to do better. If you are committing crimes, you should not be on the internet or any video talking about those. Niggas gotta learn how to keep their mouth shut. Period.
They're gonna want to leave. But guess what? If you take their passports, they can't leave the country. And you now control them. So you're controlling them with physical violence. You're controlling them, their physical location, where they can go and what they can do, and you're controlling them by taking their passports. There's so much evidence that Mr. Tate is engaged in sex trafficking, or at least it seems to me, and it's really by his own admission. I mean, because one of his monikers, or one of his hallmarks of his personality, is the disrespect and the controlling of women. So for some reason, he thinks that's cool, and he thinks it's really cool to brag about how he can either be.
A lot of y'all think that's cool and it's goofy. We gotta stop that shit, fellas. We can't sit here and bash women. I know, we gonna do it, you know what I mean? But we gotta cut it down, man. We gotta cut it down. All your content can't be about bashing and being disrespectful to women, man. Period.
Beat the shit out of a woman or control their every movement, because they just love him or whatever. But all those statements that he's made on his own, there's just a treasure trove of information that he has put out there himself. Nobody else, these are his words. Trapping a girl in Romania by stealing their passports and forcing them to work for a webcam. That is sex trafficking 101.
And he's admitted to this shit on camera.
A young girl from the United States to Romania. He's subjected himself
Everybody defending this man, you're an idiot.
Prosecution in Romania,
point blank,
United States.
Ain't nothing
I don't know about Great Britain,
about
but I'm sure that's something that's probably on the table as well. I represented a female that was charged with sex trafficking, along with 38 other. There was 38 women and one or maybe two guys that were charged in the case. It was like a 7-week trial, and we tried to claim agency. A woman has her agency; she can do whatever she wants. And I've heard some comments in our last video about that these women, blah blah blah, blaming the women. A lot of these women, in fact, most of them, did not work in the sex industry before. They were lured there with visions of romance with Mr. Tate, and in fact, Mr. Tate was actually responsible for a lot of the.
I worked for Bank of America in fraud, and we get a lot of cases like this. I'm not talking about sex trafficking, but I'm talking about people getting scammed out of shit in the name of love. It happens. It happens. You can't sit here and say, oh, this person loved me, so I flew him to this country, allowed them to make content, exposing themselves sexually, and then I kicked them out in the foreign country, took their passport, took their money. Like, come on, man, that shit don't even make sense.
The typing.
He got famous off of saying this type of shit.
Hot chicks, it was actually
niggas
him.
is weird.
But they didn't have experience in this business. They're extremely vulnerable. They're in a country that they don't know anything about, don't have any resources. And here they are with no passport,
and they
no money, no way. And you heard him on Fresh and Fit was saying, I'm not going to fucking pay you. I mean, and guess what? Pissing her off cost him more money and trouble than it did to pay her. This has just been our reaction to the latest and the greatest on Andrew Tate. He is now detained. He ain't getting out for at least 30 days. And then he has been formally charged. We'll see what happens. And I don't really know the Romanian system. I know that he's looking between 3 to 10 years. In the United States, he'd be looking at 10 to 30 years plus, depending upon the different enhancements. It's 18 USC 1591, and you can look it up yourself. It's 18 USC 1591, and limiting their movement. In that case that I tried, the prosecutor had probably the best line in the whole trial. She says, "You walk away from a job, you run away from slavery," and these girls couldn't even run away, and that's what he's looking at. So we'll continue to follow this and treat women with respect. I don't know how else to put it.
It's just that simple.
Women deserve respect. Everybody deserves respect.
Everybody.
But when you're a guy, don't idolize somebody like this.
Everybody, man, you deserve respect too. Everybody deserves respect. But like they say, treat people how you want to be treated. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but come on, man. I don't see how you can watch these videos this dude has presented and still try to defend Andrew Tate. I don't see how you can watch any of his videos and try to defend him after these allegations. Like, my first couple of times of watching any of his content, I was mad at my brother because my brother was like, "Oh, this Andrew Tate guy." I said, "What?" I said, "What? You watch this nigga?" Bro, this nigga is a clown. This nigga is a clown. I watched one of his videos on Fresh and Fit with him, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this nigga is goofy. A year later, he blew up. I'm not mad at him. You know what I mean? But you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and build your whole empire on using women and then bash them.
Has nothing but contempt and just uses women for his own benefit. He didn't give any of those Bugattis to any of these women. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
33 cars, but you mad at one woman
certified criminal defense lawyer. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram.
A top G, a baller, and got access to all these women and shit like that. One leaving. Why? Just like the lawyer said. This one incident with this woman, him not wanting to pay her, cost him everything. Fellas, we just gotta be a little smarter. Just a little smarter. You know what I mean? Like, subscribe, comment. I said that I, was gonna get into the Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez thing. I'll probably do that another day. My baby home, so I'm finna cut this video short and go spend some time with my woman. You know what I mean? I advise y'all to do the same. If you don't have one, you better get you one. Like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I'm out.